Hello, everybody. Egypt could be a travel destination, definitely. I was always on the customer side, and recently I moved over to the service provider side, and I always get approached from similar clients is what do you look for in your service provider? So I figured I'll share the highlights of the presentation in my first slide. Number one is definitely when you do outsourcing, besides looking for cost-effective solutions and the quality and faster go-to-market, a very big important part, and quoting Oliver from Adidas, experience is the new brand image. Is definitely looking for a provider that has the sufficient customer experience to be able to give you the best practice and the know-how of the industry to drive value add. So this is definitely one thing when you choose your service provider that you have to look forward to. Future technology is on the advent of everything. We're talking now automation, robotics, analytics, everything, and definitely the service provider has to be able to bring the future of technology to you. You have all your business case, but you really need to have a partner that helps you to bridge the gap. Platform experience, as I've seen a lot of the challenges that were shared throughout the conference, and one of the main gripes were how to work with the different platforms. So whether it's an ERP, SAP, Oracle, whether it's a CRM, Sugar, Salesforce, customer systems, Zendesk, all these applications, it's very important that you find a provider that has the experience, understands how to do process re-engineering, understands how to the customer experience, and be able to bridge this gap and putting it all into a value add for you. Definitely safety and security with the GDPR and all the security measures, especially when you're working across borders and regions, whether it's Europe, whether it's the Middle East, whether it's Russia, whether the US, this has become a serious issue now. Data sovereignty and data privacy and how to deal with data and manage security is a priority and remains to be a priority. Flexibility and transparency, and I mean by that simply the pricing model, the contract terms, the processes that you're engaged in. It's very important upfront that you have the right chemistry with the service provider, and these things, there's flexibility and transparency in the conversation. Speaking the customer language, and I don't mean your language, I mean the customer's language. Besides doing the support that is needed for the customer, I think it's more importantly to understand the customer mindset, understand the culture, understand the regional nuances and aspects, and to be able to deliver the right customer experience. Efficient recruitment strategy. In our business, honestly, whether it's voice, non-voice, assisted, unassisted, at the end, it boils down to having an efficient recruitment strategy, and people are the main ingredient and the super sauce. So it's very important when you choose your service provider that it's a provider that can source and recruit the right talent for your business. And of course, outsourcing definitely is the cost effectiveness, finding something that is really cost effective that will help you to drive your return on investment. What an introduction. My name is Reem Asaad. I'm the CEO of Raya Contact Center, and I'm happy to be with you here today. I traveled all the way from Egypt to be with you today, and I'm going to introduce ourselves because I don't know how many of you know our brand and where we operate, so allow me just one quick slide to introduce the country and the company. And of course, I'll share with you why I chose Egypt as the discussion, and then share with you our experiences in retail business. And to make it really exciting and useful for you, I chose 3 simple use cases that I lived through with my team in retail to bring it home as how we use innovation and the use of all the new technology to bring customer voice to you. So we are Raya Contact Center. We were established in 2001. We have about 18 years of experience in the BPO industry. We are Egypt's leader. We have about 7,000 advisors. We have 10 service delivery sites. We have 8 in Egypt in different locations. We have 1 in Warsaw in Poland to service Europe, and we have 1 in Dubai to service the GCC region. And we're about to open in Saudi Arabia as well to address the GCC. And most of the brands here, believe it or not, they're present in the region. So even though the focus is on Europe, but every brand here I saw and I know from working in the GCC, and of course the market and the emerging market is in the GCC region as well. We are listed in the stock exchange, so you can follow us. We're publicly listed and traded. And we service our clients with over 25 languages, and this is also a tidbit of information that people don't know, that you can, due to the tourism and the multicultural focus in Egypt, we are able to service clients with over 25 languages from Egypt. English definitely to scale, Arabic, German, Dutch, French, Nordics, all the languages you can think of. And of course, we have over 100 plus clients. They're the top 500 Fortune 500 clients. And 75% of our business is offshore. So it's all dealing with multinational clients that want to have a good service, good quality for money, very cost effective in voice as well as non-voice services. I think you can see Egypt is in the heart of the map. It's the one in blue. On top of it, this is Dubai and then Poland. And of course, having said this, it's worth it to introduce Egypt, because I don't know if all of you know Egypt as a destination. We hear a lot about India, the Philippines, East Europe, but definitely Egypt has been rated as number 4 as far as the top outsourcing destination. What's prevalent when you choose a destination, definitely it's cost effectiveness and access to talent. And this is the right selection for the location. So Egypt definitely has about 500,000 grads a year, college graduates, so abundance of talent. The age group, 50% of the age group is between 15 and 44, and this is the age that's into innovation and technology. The infrastructure and the connectivity. Over Egypt, there's about 20 fiber cables that pass, so this tells you about the quality of the infrastructure in there. There are technology parks and innovation centers. Definitely the geographical location is remarkable, because it's about the time zone. It's about 1 hour or 2 to Europe, so this makes it easy to manage the conversation. Also, the proximity is about 4 hours into Europe. And of course, the R&D. This region is known for R&D. Most of the big companies have their R&D centers situated in Egypt, and this is where a lot of the digitization, digital tools that you're going to hear about throughout the session is coming from there. This is a slide just about the international analysts talking and rating Egypt, but I want to tell you what we work in Egypt and the clients we service. So we have a very big footprint in retail, of course, and hence the context of the session today. E-commerce, travel, automotive sector, telecom and media, BFSI, finance and accounting and insurance, government, healthcare, and education. These are the certifications. So when I meet with clients, these are the questions. Do we talk the same language? Do we understand quality? So we are COPC certified, and this is the most effective certification in the industry, which drives performance. PCI, of course, when you talk about information security and card handling and any financial transaction. GDPR compliant to fulfill the data privacy and data sovereignty. ISO 2701, information management, technology, and of course, health, occupational safety. What do we do? Definitely customer experience management, customer care, technical support, all the back office transactions, whether it's order management, supply chain, inside sales, professional services, and retail. But I'm going to skip all throughout retail. You guys are practitioners more than we do. But what I want to take you at is innovation. How do you use innovation and the digital tools that you're going to hear about throughout the session to drive customer experience and to deliver the customer voice to you? So in our implementations, I'm going to showcase how the use of omni-channel to have one platform of operation, to have time efficiency, plus the use of automation. Where do you introduce automation in the process? Is it all chatbots? Is it all humans? Where is the right mix? And analytics and how to drive this to increase your return on investment and reduce your operational cost. So I chose use cases because I think this is the practical experience, and that's what you need to get out of this session. So how we introduce omni-channel, increased customer satisfaction. We had an existing e-commerce client that suddenly had a decrease in their customer satisfaction. So they ran their surveys, and their bottom box target was 2%, and they were at 6.5%. So they brought us in. We did a Lean Sigma analysis. We looked at the breakdown of the service, and realized that there's a problem with the advisors, that the client has to call back many times to get their problem resolved. The AHT, the average handling time, was too long because the advisor had to shuffle through different sources of data to be able to get the history of the client. So we worked with the client and we introduced the omni-channel solution. We are not a vendor, we don't sell products, but we consult with our clients to give them the right solution to address their business need. So implemented an omni-channel solution for our client, which empowered the advisors to be able to quickly resolve the issues. They have a full 360 degree of the history of the client, what was the troubleshooting that happened before, and they were able to, through that, to increase the satisfaction and decrease the detractor. The second example I want to talk about is robotics, how introducing robotics and process automation had an impact on the service level. So again, we have an existing retail client that launched a new loyalty program. The volumes were very high about inquiries about the points and the loyalty program, so the service level was shot totally. So at that time, we did the Six Sigma analysis to understand what are the query types, where are the issues, and based on that, we advised our clients that 65% of the calls were related to this new loyalty program. Nobody had the capacity to scale up that quickly, so we introduced a self-service IVR, and we automated a lot of the processes to be able to manage the business. By doing that, we were able to manage 28% of the incoming calls through the IVR, and it increased the service level to 96% again, and brought the client where it needs to be. And this reduced attrition with the advisors because they were not burned out, and of course increased the overall cost satisfaction by reducing cost. And the last use case I'm going to talk about is sentiment analysis, how the use of analytics helps you to understand the engagement of your clients and the voice of the customers. Again, and we had the consumer electronics UK client-based that introduced a new product. They had expectations of the sales. They're expecting to sell at launch about 500,000 units. The sales didn't come home. They didn't have the revenues or the feedback they expected. So again, we used our social media analytical tools to break down and review the customer voice, categorize it in categories, make sense of all this big data coming from multiple channels to be able to at least understand what are the categories and what are the attributes. On top of that, we put some sentiment analysis tools that help us to understand the attributes that drove this the slowness in the sales. And we understood from the attributes that there was a product issue. So the client, based on the feedback we shared, the client pulled the product out. They did some enhancements. And with that, they were able to relaunch it again. And they engaged more with the clients because about 12% came that there was lack of branding and positioning, and there was low engagement. So by bringing this insight through analytics and tools to help you understand the sentiment and the voice of the customer, we were able again to drive the performance, and the engagement increased by a tremendous amount. And when they relaunched the product, the sales increased by 24%. So in a nutshell, I tried to use some use cases from the retail industry to showcase how the use of omni-channels, having one platform where you understand the client voice, robotics, where does it make sense in the conversation, chatbots where you can automate or human interaction, plus analytics helps you to drive your return on investment and reduce your cost. This is who we service. It's just so you see the base we have. We have the big players, the top 500 that we're servicing out of Egypt, whether voice services, non-voice, assisted, unassisted, back office transactions. I want to thank you for your time today, and we're going to be around in the session. Thank you.
Thanks, Rick.